Oh, okay, it's a company.
I got our money on our Rachel.
No, I took it all out.
Hey, what's up everyone? This is Lennon Silsena, Director of Tactical Media here at the NDN Collective. There's about to be a press conference about this ongoing occupation of the roof depot here in Minneapolis, Minnesota. We just are getting live here, so we're going to be listening to it, and it's about to start, so thanks for joining.
The mic is a little bit. Okay, yeah, I'm just going to test. Testing. Sound good? Is that good? Okay. Are you guys ready? Okay. Jolene? Jolene.
You can see all there's a TV set up, there's an army tank going up. We'll walk through the site.
So thank you for coming. We appreciate you. My name is Jolene Jones. I'm the longest resident at Lower. I also am the person who originally found out what was going on here. I got invited to a meeting at East Phillips. Went in there, asked them, you're in the most diverse community in the state of Minnesota. Where are our people? They said they sent out notices. Waterworks said they sent out notices. Told them I didn't get one. They went into their computer because they kept arguing with me, and they were like, oh, sorry, we missed Little Earth. I'm like, how you miss a whole community? You know where to send our light bills. Our water bills. We got 212 households. How'd you miss us? And that was the start of our battle. So I'm going to turn it over to Cassandra Holmes, who was selected by the LIRA to fight this battle for us years ago, and is still in the battle. So I'm going to hand it over so she can update you on things. Thank you.
Bonjour, relatives. My name is Cassie Holmes. My spirit name is Niwin Makwai Kwe for Bears Women. Not only was I elected by LIRA in our community to be a part of the beginning of this fight with EPNI before EPNI was formed, but I myself had lost a child to environmental justice. I had a best friend lose a child to environmental justice. Injustices and racism. Yeah, thank you, Auntie. Environmental racism and injustice affects our community. It has been affecting us for many generations. This is nothing new. It's not a surprise. But what's a surprise is that the city themselves have put in place a green zone. They recognize that we're poison. They recognize that we do have a state law for environmental rights and justice that talks about cumulative pollution in this community, because if you see behind us, we have bituminous roadways, we have the Smith Foundry, so we have polluters in here already, similar to Northside with the Herc. So this fight, when I lost my son, my best friend lost her child, and we've had people die from asthma attacks, was really a wake-up call. And I was educated very quickly that this is the stuff that's happening to our community. This is the stuff we're slowly dying, slowly being killed. Genocide is upon us, and it's touching the lives of 38 different tribes at one time. And this is going to affect our kids and generations to come. Sorry, I have talking points. I'm cold too. I just want to say my son was named Trinidad Flores. He was 16 years old when he passed away from a heart condition he wasn't born with. The thing that we need to focus on too is that not only are they going to tear this building down and pollute us with arsenic that was so bad for us that they had cleaned up 500 plus homes and businesses from the soil. We were considered the arsenic triangle, a Superfund site. Oh, thank you. But they want to bring in a total of 888 vehicles to this community. They want to, and most of those are diesel. And with the state law, the Clark-Berglund law, that should protect us from any more pollution or entities or anyone for that matter who come into our community and want to leave a footprint behind that's going to apply to them. And that is why EPNI, but we are appealing it to the federal courts. What we really would like to see here, first and foremost, is that they aren't successful in their plan, because the main reason why we started this fight was to make sure that our kids have a chance to live and a chance to breathe and a chance to drink clean water, clean air. I literally had a council member ask me, do you want clean water or do you want clean air? And I didn't know that was a decision for anybody that they had to make. And I was also asked by the same council member, but don't you want jobs? Yes, we do. We want jobs, but we want jobs we can be proud of, jobs that won't kill our families back home while we're working, and jobs that won't take all our money that we make for medical bills. So all I can say is thank you guys for being here for this fight. This is where we are now. We have to occupy peacefully. And we really would like the city and council members and the mayor to do the right thing. They recognize, they know what's going on in this community, and they are blatantly turning their backs on us, stepping on us actually, and letting us know that they don't give a crap about us and they don't care about what happens to future generations in this community. So we're just asking them, do the right thing. That's all we want you to do, and to think about your constituents and remember why you ran and the ground that you stood on. You said you were all about climate changes and helping that. You said that you were all about green jobs, green education, green training, and all this. This is going the opposite direction, and we need you to do the right thing. Miigwech.
Anin. My name is Mike Forsha, Chairman of the American Indian Movement, and I want to welcome you all to the occupation of the Roof Depot. On February 27th will be the 50th anniversary of the occupation of Wounded Knee, and we plan on celebrating it right here. We were always told to go through the process. There's always a process. Well, that process is a systemically racist process set up to benefit them. It's not for us. And here we are, 5 years after the mayor promised to end homelessness, and all he's been doing is playing a sick game of whack-a-mole. And they come in, they sweep the camps, and our relatives get spread all over. We have to round them up, get more tents, get more sleeping bags. And we have a plan on the table, East Phillips Park. And we are not going anywhere. They will change their mind. We will succeed. And we're asking anybody who's listening to please come and support. We need wood, we need water, we need food, we need all this stuff for our relatives. And I'm just so glad that we have such an outpouring here. And by this time tomorrow, there's going to be double this. And with this snowstorm coming, we have to gather up as many of our relatives as we can to keep them safe. So again, we just need your support. Miigwech.
Tansei, Gananaskamotan, Nananaskamotan, Upseas, Nanahiwak, Upseas, Rachel Thunder. I said hello and thank you. Thank you to everybody that's here. Thank you to everybody that will be watching this in the future. Thank you for all of the support and the prayers. My name is Rachel Thunder. I'm Plains Cree, Nihiwak, Treaty 8. A member of the American Indian Movement, Little Earth Protectors, and a community member here in South Minneapolis. So this morning, on February the 21st, 2023, at dawn, Indigenous relatives and allies and East Phillips residents began an occupation of the Roof Depot site, demanding that the city of Minneapolis call off the demolition set for February the 27th. Minneapolis is acting on environmental racism that will further the genocide of Indigenous people and community members of South Minneapolis. If action is not taken by the city to meet all of our demands for justice, community members of East Phillips and close partners are prepared to maintain our current occupation of the Roof Depot. This community-led group has issued the following list of demands to the city. 1, total relocation of the Hiawatha expansion project. 2, hand over control of the Roof Depot site to the Indigenous community and community of South Minneapolis. 3, plan to remove of bituminous roadways and Smith Foundry. 4, enact a moratorium of encampment evictions. 5, provide funding for peer support workers. 6, invest in pilot programs to provide shelter and services to the houseless community like the former Navigation Center. And 7, provide funding for the community's vision for an indoor urban farm at the Roof Depot site. We invite everybody, all of our relatives from all across Turtle Island to come and join us here in this fight on stolen, unceded land. This land that we're currently residing on falls under treaties signed under Fort Snelling in the early 1800s that were not honored, that were broken by the United States government. And we were asked this morning by the fire department and Minneapolis Police Department and told that we were trespassing. And there is no trespassing on stolen land. So the message is clear. These are our demands, and we're not leaving until these demands are met. Thank you. He's going to speak on the treaties.
How mataki api. Na pe jape do wazi hoksina. Imataha tokunoa. Wapekute chichi api do. My name is Wazi Hoksina. I go by Kendall, Dakota. I belong to the Ochete Shankui tribe of the Wapekute band. There are 7 bands of us. And my ancestors, we believe we came from this land here. In 1805, Billiam Pike came up here to do a treaty with the Sioux. He came up here to deceive us. Thomas Jefferson, I'm quoting Thomas Jefferson here. He wanted to enact the credit system to put us in debt. His words, so they can be eating out of our hands. Governor Ramsey, he had the same idea. He wanted to get rich. He wanted to deceive us. He had our Anishinaabe brothers, our Dakota brothers fighting against each other because he knows when we come together we are strong. So I'm here to invite all my Ochete Shankui brothers and sisters to come and support us here on our homelands. This land was always ours, always will be ours, will always be here. We're strong together. I hope Madakias.
At this time, we wanted to open for questions from the press that's present here.
What is your guys' plan if, say we do get 20 inches of snow on Thursday, cumulatively this week?
Right. Our contingency plan for the snow. There's nothing that's going to keep us from occupying the site. My teachings were that snow, when that blanket falls on our mother, that's her winter blanket tucking her in, and it's a fresh new beginning. And so for me, the snow coming symbolizes a fresh new beginning. And logistically, we are prepared. We've got a lot of firewood coming in. We've got all of our tents getting insulated, warming stoves and different things. And so logistically, we are prepared. And there's not going to be anything man-made or from the earth that's going to stop us from holding this site.
Can you talk about the mayor's veto of?
Okay. What's your specific question?
Earlier you were talking about how the city council approved the plan and then the mayor vetoed it. Can you just sort of explain kind of how that went down?
So when we went to, when we had a motion to the city council members, a lot of them were in support. We actually had won the city council, even for some of those who've been against EPNI and the community for a very long time. And then with the mayor's new powers that he got from this last vote-in that took place, he vetoed it. So he's really the main one who was like, this, I don't care about this community, and I'm going to do what I can to move forward, because I do know that they want to centralize all their public works here. There was a whistleblower in the city who had given EPNI paperwork from the city that they had another site in mind, and it would actually have been cheaper, but they said that the city had came forward and said that was false. We cannot really pinpoint which part of the city, because they keep blaming each other and sending us around. When we ask, where are we being stopped? What is the issues? Please talk to us. So he vetoed it, and then another vote happened with the city council, and this is my own personal opinion, and I'll put it out there. Those city council members that voted against us the whole time had finally voted yes this one time, but I know that they knew we weren't going to win, and re-elections coming up for them, and I believe they took this as an opportunity to say yes, so that when they're running again, they can say, I voted for EPNI, I voted for the community. See, I said yes, but they've always been against us, and I believe that they use that as an opportunity. So the mayor vetoed. Some of the council members do not want to go against him, and that's all I can say about that.
What is your position on the memorandum of understanding that was put forward, the kind of compromise agreement that got put forward and approved by the city council? Is that something that EP&I and your neighbors, how do you feel about that?
So I was in that meeting with the mayor when that took place. They talked about MOUs and said that they were going to come back and answer a lot of our questions that we had, and we never had no answers, but the MOU came out. And it was a big surprise to EPNI, because we were like, how did this happen? We didn't agree to this. We did, as a board, vote, and the majority was that, like I said in the beginning, the point of this was that we don't want them to bring more pollution in. That is the first thing that we fought for, and that is the main thing. Do we want to accept scraps for them? Do we want to compromise our people just for 3 acres and have them still poison us? No. I myself am against it. I can speak for myself. I will say that EPNI board did vote no against it as well. But there was a lot of questions that we had for the city and for the mayor, and they were not answered. Their answers are, we're gonna, the cars are gonna be made electric in the city, but I can guarantee you East Phillips is not gonna be the first one on their list. We know that. He also said, we have cars that are still working really good, so we can't just make them electric when they're still running. We'll lose money. So in the end, it's all about money and land for them. And I can't imagine anybody in my community who wants to go knock on their neighbor's door and say, are you okay with accepting 3 acres, but your child may not live that long? So the MOU to me is a bunch of crap. If anyone else wants to speak on that.
So, to speak on the MOU, the original reason why Little Earth got involved was because of the pollution it would do and because of the high rate of asthma our children have. And at that time, I went to that meeting because I was the interim director for LIRA. And here's my opinion on that. My opinion is they can take their 3 acres and shove it, because you're talking about our children breathing. You're talking about our children living past 25 and not having heart issues that we don't understand where they got them. And Little Earth is not in it for 3 acres. We never got in it for a little piece of meat on the table. We got in it because of our future, and that is our children. Yep. Thank you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh no, it's like can you explain sort of like how the roof people being demolished is environmental racism? Like how can you give a little more context into that?
For me, because the city or the community had already planned to purchase this land, and the city threatened eminent domain and took it from the community without knowledge, and that their plan that they're bringing is only going to create more pollution. not jobs for us, even though they keep claiming that. But if that was the case, they wouldn't have to build a parking ramp that's going to house 888 vehicles. The environmental racism and injustice is everything that they plan to do, and that the fact that they can't respect that the community has come up with a beautiful gift, a plan that would be green jobs, green training, green education, housing, and that would be for the community and by the community. And the fact that they don't even want to, they didn't even show our plan for many years in city council. We finally got it seen within the last 2 years, and we've been fighting this for over 7 years. So they don't, it's environmental racism and injustice, because everything they plan to do goes against green zone policies, and it goes against them working with the community like they keep saying. And they said racism was a health issue, and this is our health issue, and they still want to plow forward. They want to go forward, and they don't care what happens to us. And we have facts. It's not like we're just saying, hey, this is what's going to happen. We have facts from the Department of Transportation. We have facts from the hospitals that shows the impact that we are suffering right now. And there's an environmental assessment worksheet that's out there that shows the impact that will take place.
That was done by Harvard.
That Harvard. Well, we have a few. There was also a impact statement that was done by 7 organizations in the past with city dollars, I believe. And when the Southside Green Zones first happened, and that all of a sudden disappeared, and we found it a couple years ago. And therefore, main talking points. Well, the main one is less cars and less diesel like trucks. That was the main thing. And then food equity, because we are in a food desert, right? So, and everything that they plan on pushing out is going against everything that was done in that EAW.
And here's the reason why I feel it's racism, environmental racism. So when they first held their meeting, when Waterworks, remember I told you guys when I spoke about that meeting at East Phillips, and I was one of the only minorities there. There was 3 of us. The other 2 were interpreters. East Phillips is the most diverse neighborhood in the state of Minnesota. They sent it out in English only. There was no Spanish, no Somalian, nothing else. They purposely did that so our communities wouldn't show up. And they're purposely putting this here because they didn't expect us to come together and fight. That's what they didn't think would happen, and we did. It's environmental racism because they thought they could get away with it, and they thought because a lot of our neighbors and friends don't speak English that they could get it like that. Thank you.
I have a quick question about the unhoused encampment kind of aspect of it. I know there was, I think 3, technically 4 evictions a week ago today on Valentine's Day. There was the big eviction a week before that, right here on Hiawatha. Are some of this setup, is that kind of a direct result of those evictions, in that they might be people with that had nowhere else to go, basically?
Yes, this is actually part of that because of the fact that we've been dealing with our unhoused relatives for so long. And we need some place to put them. And right now, this is the only viable option. We took over the Speedway on 25th and Bloomington the other day. Now that's the second time we were there. And we don't want the owner to lose out on any money. He wants to turn it into a coffee shop or something. And we understand that. But what are we supposed to do? Where are we supposed to go? The city has no plan. Now, Mayor Fry, before he was elected, this is what he actually said. When the people were running for mayor, he said, Mayor Fry supports giving land back to Minneapolis' Native community. This is a historic undertaking and one that the mayor is committed to getting right by the community and by the law. And that's what Peter Ebnett had said. And since then, they've been avoiding us. They say they're going to give land back, they got something in the works, but what do? They just do the whack-a-mole again. And where are we supposed to put our people? And so this is the only viable option that we have to keep them safe. and they're being preyed upon by the sex traffickers and by the drug dealers, and we don't know what else to do. So our hands are against a wall, and so this is our only step. And so we're going to stay here until we win, and I guarantee you we will win. Any other questions? Well, I want to thank you guys all for...
How can people follow along who are on the internet? Like, is there any like websites to look at or social media platforms they should be following?
Well, they can follow the AIM Twin Cities page, and anybody else got any pages up? Little Earth Protectors, they have a page that they'll be putting stuff on. Oh, yep, hang on.
There's the Fenda Depot, but there's also EPNI, EPNI. So we are still in a legal fight with them, and you can always go on our page. And again, the city has endless dollars of our tax dollars to fight us, and so we still need help for our legal fight with the appeals and stuff like that. So you can always go to EPNI. I wish Joe was here. It's like .org or .com, and yeah, and then EPNI.farm. EPNIfarm.org. Sorry, because I made the Facebook page. That's what I always go to. Or you can go to EPNI on Facebook, and there's stuff on there that you can follow and show support. And I just ask anybody to reach out to their council members, reach out to the mayor. The council members in your ward do affect this community. So if they say, well, we need to talk to their council member, no. Talk to your council member. Let them know that you support EPNI and that you support the farm in the community. And you can email them or you can call them, including the mayor, and then let them know that you support us, please, and that they should change their mind. Miigwech.
And before we close, I just wanted to share so that everybody knows that this occupation is peaceful, prayerful, and grounded in ceremony. When we first came in here this morning, we started everything with a sunrise ceremony. We filled our pipes, we had the spirit fire lit, and that's how we're going to continue to hold it. And I just want that to be very clear. And everybody is welcome to come. This camp is open, it is safe, and we welcome all of our relatives in a good way. Hi, hi.
Who's all here? What class is here? 11? Oh, awesome. Thank you.
I'm independent, but also I'm filming a documentary about the house in Minneapolis.
Okay.
That's one of our demands.
I know. Yeah, that's just a good Oh, awesome. Okay. And the Unicorn Riot Indian Collective. Oh, wow, awesome. Hi. Okay.
All right, everybody. I'm going to go around and look at all these banners, and then walk through the encampment so you can get a sight of it. It's changed a lot since this morning, and then we'll probably take the feed down. So thanks for joining us. Let's go ahead and walk.
Yeah, right here hurts. I know.
One more time. So we're just going to look at all the banners. My favorite camp banner, very classic. Defend Little Earth Carrot. We say tomat no. Tomato. I'm literally going to read these out to you because I think they're great. Urban Farm, not toxin harm. There's also a, I don't know if that works. Save the Roof Depot Warehouse. I'm just reading these. This one does say the fuck Jacob Frey green bean. I don't know if you can see that. You can't. The light is not good. It's real. This is Act Now. This is the website they're sharing, epnifarm.org. EPNIfarm.org. You can check that out. Action is greater than words. We must breathe with some lungs. Fuck Frey. I don't know. Which is the mayor, last name of the mayor here in Minneapolis, you don't know. For the air we breathe, people over poison. We'll leave it in the ground, and that's talking about the arsenic that's underneath the roof depot here. Urban Farm, not toxic harm. Very good rhyme scheme. Environmental reasons stops here with a big red hand. Defend Little Earth. Defend Little Earth. And this is like a racial committed to toxic harm. That's like the contractor is probably set. Yeah, you can smell the chemicals in the air too. We're talking about there's a foundry and then bituminous roadways, asphalt roadways, I'm pretty sure. And so you can smell it in the air right now. That's what they're talking. There's already a lot of pollution in this area, and they're just going to add more. And then they're talking about environmental racism and how this is the most diverse neighborhood, and this is where they're going to put this and then unearth this arsenic. Protect the children. Urban farm, not toxic harm. Cultural genocide stops here. Enough is enough. Arsenic poisoning here, pointing that out. Defend the depot. Stop polluting East Phillips. That's the neighborhood we're in. You see the urban farm. Take a stand with your neighbors. Urban farm on toxic harm. Labor for clean air. Stop polluting East Phillips. And urban farm, not toxic harm. So we're going to go walk around the site to show you how it's changed. And we're going to take this feed down. And you can those websites they shared. Defend the Roof Depot, I think, is on Instagram. You can follow those feeds. We're just here sort of to get. But people are gonna stay here. And I'm not sure how many times I'll come back, but I'm kind of far away. And so after this, I'll be gone for a bit. Go take care of the fam. This is the entranceway. You can see there's some food, hot stuff set out for drinking. There's a teepee supply tent. There's a heater up. You can see how different it is from this morning. People have been building constantly since then. You got these teepees here. And for the city is watching. They have a camera up here. You can see it right there. And so the city's been monitoring everything going on here all day. So they've been watching this encampment expand, well aware of it. Because that camera there is live streaming to, I assume, some headquarters where some guy with a salary is taking notes. And probably watching all these feeds too. So if you're live streaming, like usually, they're watching your feeds. You can see there's an army tent going up right here as well. Some more tents. Fires burning to keep people warm. And then over here you have a bunch of tents that have been tarped up. And they're getting them actually... Initially I was like, are people really going to stay here? Because these tents are going down just on the ground. And if anybody who's slept outside in the winter, you can't really put tents on the ground. It doesn't work. You'll freeze the soil, the ground like saps the heat from your body if it's just directly on the ground. And so they've been actually... They're all on tarps now, and they're putting cardboard up. You can see this one's actually on, they brought a bunch of pallets in. And so if the city's watching this, just be aware that people are going to be sitting out here. It is not a ploy. They are seriously readying for this storm that's coming. About 20 inches of snow from my understanding. This is the Roof Depot here. I don't know what it's like inside. You can see it's all boarded up. Not sure. People are camping against it over there. I'm not really sure. But we're going to go back. But I just wanted to show you, like, it is serious. People are planning to stay. You can tell they're actually preparing because they're getting their tents off the ground. You know, they set them up initially, and now they're doing the work of preparing them for a winter stay. There's, like, fires. It will not be pleasant. You know, like, somebody once told me in an encampment, like, nobody's staying out in an encampment because they want to. They're there for a reason, to make a point. Or, you know, of course, houseless encampments. So where they go. You can see that they're talking about they're trying to bring the relatives here to be able to give them some services, because right now the city keeps destroying their... What's it? Oh, it always is. Sorry, I have underneath all the time. I have long johns underneath, so it's not too much of a show. Someone's letting me know my flies down. I apologize. You know, now everyone knows on the internet. That just it's okay. It'll be fine. That threw me off, huh? Okay, so I think that's it. Let me see. What was the last?
I think if we leave them, they're just going to get lost.
I don't know if you want to say anything else. I was kind of like, I'm about to take the feed down, so I was trying to think if there's anything else I'm missing or we should think about sharing.
Yeah, I just think it's
yeah,
I really do.
It is. I mean, it's like transformed since the beginning of, since the morning. You know, it looks so vastly different from this morning already, and it's just expanding.
And I hate to be here. I hate that we're doing this. I want it to be celebrating the fact that we got this, you know, and not and not having to do this. You know, this is what I don't want to happen. And I love it. I love the camaraderie. I love the people helping. But this is the last resort. You know.
And you're wishing that the community had the roof depot and they'd be working together as a community like this.
As a community.
To prepare it to like be used by the community.
Right, because all these resources and stuff that we're doing now is wasted. In the sense that we could be using that money and resources for this. You know, as opposed to always. We got to find another spot. We got to get more attention because they just threw all those in the garbage. You know, some of them were brand new. So yeah.
All right, well, thanks for. All right, so we're gonna take this feed down again. I just wanted to bring you in, show you the space, and also to show you the fact that people are gonna be staying here.
I thought you were talking to me.
Oh no, I was walking around talking to myself. I'm live, so I'm just talking to the people online here. So yeah, you can go earlier. There's an earlier live stream where we had a few interviews, give you a little more context of the history of the green zones, the history of the arsenic triangle, the history of them having to like take the topsoil off all this area in order to build houses because it was so toxic. And now they want to dig further into the ground, which this community is basically being like, you're going to poison the community with arsenic that's under the ground. And that's why, one of these sides said leave it in the ground. And that's what they're talking about, is the fact that this site is on top of a bunch of toxic land that's being covered up, and they're going to unveil it and release it into this neighborhood, which is the most diverse neighborhood in Minnesota. So, and you heard that person talking about how, like, when they sent out the alerts, they're just in English. And there's a Spanish-speaking community here, Somali-speaking community here, a very diverse community with lots of different languages. And they're saying that was on, they felt it was on purpose to only share it in English, knowing that people wouldn't show up then, and they're not going to let folks get away with it, is what it sounds like. But all right, well, that's it. I'm going to check my phone really quick, make sure I'm not missing anything. But I just want to bring people out here. Again, my name is Lorenzo Serna, Director of Tactical Media at Indian Collective. And yeah, enough is enough. Cultural genocide stops here. Well, feels like I can show myself. Okay. Now I'll give you a little look. Anyways, thanks for bearing with me here. It's really cold. I don't know, it's like it was 9 in the morning. Well, I came here in the morning, so in the morning when they're talking about they set up in ceremony, absolutely true. We're here, we witnessed it. Ceremony put down, 4 directional prayers, spirit fire was lit, a pipe ceremony happened, and then the encampment was starting to get built. And so they're here in ceremony, they're here in prayer, they're holding the space, and they're going to be here for a while. So if you're in the area, check it out. And we'll come back as we can. I'm going to go take care of my child. I have to go do that. Let's just go by. It's like defendthedepot.com is another website. Thanks everybody. Thanks so much.